So, hello everyone, and welcome back. I'm Avinash, and today I have an awesome person with me, Nasi, and he has achieved a lot of things. Being very honest, and the most exciting thing about him is that he is not even a professional. He's yet to graduate from his college. And before starting this video, I was just mentioning that please let few certifications for us like professionals, because as a student you're grabbing so many of them, so it feels scary that okay, this person is coming and he's grabbing every single bit of certification, so he's not going to leave any one of them for us. So in enough of me explaining, so obviously Nasi, I want to understand, first of all, let us know the viewers around us, like who you are and what you do.
So I'm Nasi. I'm studying as a BTech in cloud computing. It's
Okay.
my last year now. I'm also
Okay.
doing an internship at Runnel.ai where I use
Mm-hmm.
cloud, and I work as an SRE where I use all
Mm-hmm.
the DevOps tools around me.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's all about me.
Okay, I was looking into your LinkedIn profile, and we have also mentioned his LinkedIn profile in the description of this video. He has I believe you have done some IBM certification of cloud. You have Oracle certification. You already have a solution architect certification. I believe that is an associate level.
Yes,
Yes.
associate as well as cloud practitioner.
Okay, so I just want to mention he's just a graduate. He's not even a graduate right now. He's currently working in a company. So again, I want to mention one thing. This is possible. He is the person who is making sure that things are possible. So obviously, if someone is new to this journey and they're thinking that, okay, it sounds very difficult. It sounds very difficult for me to do that. Obviously, he is the person who is showing you that it is possible. Now, Nasi, I want to understand, like, since you are in college right now, obviously a lot of students have the thing like, okay, I want to go and watch the new Spider-Man movie, or maybe I want to try a new thing, or maybe something else. I want to have a great time because this is my college life and I'm not going to get back. How come you're grabbing so many certification at this particular age? Is it something that someone is forcing you, or this is something which excites you? No, I want to do that because I want to learn something.
Yeah, just like you said, it excites
Okay.
me. I
Okay.
also watch Spider-Man movies, like you said. I'm
Okay.
a total geek of Marvel and anime.
Okay.
So it's all
Okay.
about having fun. If you have
Mm-hmm.
fun while learning. So
Okay.
when I started preparing for my cloud practitioner exam, I
Mm-hmm.
started into AWS around two
Mm-hmm.
or 3 years ago because my
Okay.
education is cloud computing. My
Okay.
degree is specialization in cloud computing. So it's all
Okay.
about having fun. Don't study because you want to, or you want to grab a job or something. Just
Okay.
have fun and learn it. So it will be very easy for you.
Okay. So obviously he has mentioned a very good point, because obviously if you're going to like learn everything by your heart, obviously the company is going to recognize it that you are just a person who is going to learn everything from heart. You don't have any practical knowledge, and this is obviously a good point. Second thing is, obviously you have to enjoy. I can see from his face that he enjoys, and obviously he's wearing a AWS community t-shirt, I can see, so he's quite passionate about what he's doing. Yeah, I can see that. So this is a very important point I want to also mention to the viewers, that you have to be passionate about what you're doing, because obviously if you're not passionate, it gets difficult down the line. And this is from my experience I'm saying, and obviously he would also agree to that. Now, the next question I have is, you have the certification. Now, what is next? So, what from your perspective, you're looking at the different perspective. Okay, I'm satisfied now. The certifications are over. I'm done. Now I'm going to enjoy my life or something else.
So in tech, there's nothing like I'm satisfied because there are new technologies coming up every
Yeah.
day. So
Yeah.
there's no stopping to learning. You have to learn if you want to stay in this market. So
Okay.
you need to keep on learning about things, and there are a lot of tools and things to learn for me as well. Now I
Mm-hmm.
have done my solutions architect, so I'll be aiming for let's say developers associate, or I'll
Okay.
be using my Python skills for automating. Because even if you
Mm-hmm.
do the solutions architect, the main thing or the good practice by AWS is to have your code as infrastructure as code, where you automate everything.
Okay.
So next goal would be, let's say, automating things rather than using the console. I'll be using SDKs, Python SDKs or CLI to do
Okay.
my things.
Okay. So again, I want to mention again, he has also mentioned a good point, that if you want to be relevant in the industry, you have to keep on learning things, because obviously once you stop learning, I would not say that you're going to die, but obviously you are going to die in the industry, because obviously if you don't have the updated knowledge, because the pace with which things are moving rapidly, it is, I would not say very difficult, but yes, you have to sustain yourself. You have to keep on learning. And it is quite amazing to understand that you're not just focusing on one segment of cloud, but you're also going towards the development part, because this gives you, you're sort of a double-edged sword. So obviously you have the cloud computing skills as well as the development, and obviously the automation part, which I feel like, again, since I have the experience, I understand the power of automation, and I would say I'm a big fan of automation. So this is something which I would say, like, obviously if you're a learner, you should be focusing on. Okay, now I will say, like, obviously when you say that you have the certification, it sounds very easy. Like, is it very easy to get these kind of certifications, or like there is something you have to do extra?
I would say no, it is not easy. It
Okay.
is quite hard, but only if you have fun while learning, and if you
Okay.
dedicate yourself to learning,
Mm-hmm.
it will be very
Mm-hmm.
easy. You need to do
Mm-hmm.
hands-on, and you need to practice every day to get
Okay.
to make it easy, but it is
Mm-hmm.
not so easy.
Okay. So right now, if I'm a college student, okay, if I'm a college student right now, and you're quite inspiring that you have done so many certifications. So like, I have my college studies as well. I have other aspirations as well. I have to crack the few interviews if I may. So how much time should I be investing if I want to maybe reach at a certain level, so that I have some certifications with me?
Luckily, I was doing my degree in cloud computing, so this was
Okay.
kind of a way for me. So even if
Okay.
you're not doing a degree in cloud, or if you're, let's say, you're in computer science, basic computer science, if you're a
Mm-hmm.
student, I would say, if you want to make your career in cloud, you should give around 4 to 5 hours of study regularly. And if you do
Okay.
this every for 1 month or two, you will be prepared to give for solutions architect or a cloud
Okay.
practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're someone who is working, and if you're working and your job wants you to have cloud skills, you can give 2 hours every day, and
Okay.
you're also going to practice it in your job role. So it
Okay.
would help you to get the certification faster.
Okay. So basically, like, if I'm a student, I should be spending more time, because obviously this is something which I should be focusing on. But let's say if I'm a professional, I have other responsibilities, I have a family. So around 2 hours a day, I would say, like, it's sufficient. And I would say, yes, that sounds good. But if you are a student right now, I would say stop everything and get into this field of getting the certification at least, because obviously it is going to give you a much better career growth compared to like having 5 years of experience and then getting the certification. Again, it's not going to
Right.
make a big impact, but yes, it gives you an advantage. Now, Nasi, I have this question, which is basically like something which students have this neck for. Uh, I got the certification. I got extra certification in my resume. Is it sufficient? That is it. I'm going to go into the interviewer and I'll say, hey, I have this cloud practitioner certification or this certification. Now give me the job. Is it like that?
No, I would not say. Even I did my
Okay.
cloud practitioner, I thought people will beg me to work in their organization, but that was not
Okay.
the case. Even
Okay.
if you have the certification, you need to implement that, and you need to create projects on cloud, and you need to show them on your resume or your LinkedIn, so the recruiter will get to know about it, and then he will schedule your interview. Just
Okay.
what happened with my internship right now. So even if you
Okay.
have the certification, that does not mean that you will get a job. You need to make projects, and you need to do hands-on practice every day, so that
Okay.
you people recognize you that you actually have the skill. Because nowadays there are many scams going on regarding the
Okay.
certification. People ask you for money, and they sit for your
Okay.
examination, but I would never
Okay.
suggest you to do that. I also
Okay.
got messages from people, so they wanted to give my exam, but I didn't do that. So
Okay.
do hands-on.
So
Even if
again,
you have certification, you should do
okay.
hands-on practice, make project, and then you
Okay.
will surely get a job.
Okay. So again, two things I want to mention. I want to recap it. Obviously, if you're a student, do not get into this habit of, okay, pay some money and you will get along, because obviously once you're done from your studies, everything has to be that you have the practical knowledge, or at least you have the knack of learning, because nothing is going to be like, okay, we will be asking questions from chapter 1 to chapter 5. It's not going to be like that. And secondly, like, obviously he has mentioned a lot of things, especially about the practical knowledge, because I would say, like, I believe you have done your practitioner certification 2 years ago.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, 1 year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 year ago. So I feel that he would agree that a lot of things have changed from what AWS was maybe probably like 1 year ago and what AWS is today. So obviously, company don't want that you have the definition what is EC2 or maybe S3. If you can do the hands-on, okay, I think he's agreeing because he's smiling. So if you can give the practical understanding and if you can give them the practical approach and you can say, yes, this is how things are done, obviously they will be making sure that you get hired, because obviously theoretical knowledge is not going to take you anywhere. That is something which I have seen from my experience, and I think he will also agree to that.
Yes, I would strongly agree to that, because no one is going
Okay.
to ask you questions while you perform in the interview. They want you to see
Okay.
if you can install a software, or you can install anything on EC2. Let's say if you can create a secure bucket on S3, if you can
Mm-hmm.
run a database on RDS. So no one is going to
Mm-hmm.
ask you any questions. They want you to show them that you can do this, and that is how you don't need to learn and you don't need to mug up any answers. You need to do
Okay.
hands-on. Practical knowledge is must to have
Okay.
the career in cloud.
Okay. Now, one thing which I want to understand, like you mentioned that you have to showcase yourself, that maybe updating a LinkedIn profile or different stuff. So if I'm a cloud, like I have the understanding of cloud, and obviously, like if I'm a coder right now, I can simply upload my code on GitHub and I can show it to them, like this is the set of skills I have. But if I have the cloud expertise, if I may, so what are the possible ways as a student so that I can showcase to public that yes, this is the kind of skill set I have gained?
So in my case, I did a CI/CD project on AWS where I used
Okay.
EC2 and other services, also Jenkins, Ansible,
Okay.
Terraform, and things.
Mm-hmm.
And when I made
Mm-hmm.
the project, I recorded the output of it, and I
Okay.
posted a video on LinkedIn. So
Okay.
I got many messages from peers and even recruiters about it. So if you make a project and if people like it, they're going to come to you and they're going to ask you questions about things. So if
Okay.
you have projects, if you have any idea on how to, because you cannot only learn cloud, and you need to make projects on it. If possible, make your website on it, create a blog on
Mm-hmm.
WordPress using EC2 or things like
Okay.
that. So if you learn cloud, next thing is to practice on it, make projects on it, and uh, put it on your resume or your LinkedIn. That will help you to get a job or internship in cloud computing.
Okay. And obviously, I want to mention one thing. If a student is wondering, "Oh, how am I going to pay for all these kind of services?" So AWS has a special, I should say, program for students, especially for students, where I feel they have some free services as well as, like, again, I don't recall that. I'll just paste the link of that particular location. Maybe you can help
There
me
are
with
there
that.
are yeah, there are two programs by AWS. The first one is
Okay.
AWS Educate. There's another
Okay.
website by AWS which gives you
Okay.
around 1,000 credits, $1,000 credits. Uh,
Okay.
so where you can sign up, and if you're a student, they will give you $1,000. And even if you don't go to AWS Educate, if you create a new account, there will be a free tier account where you get most of
Okay.
the services free, and you can
Mm-hmm.
practice on. That's how I prepared for my cloud practitioner. I created a free tier account and I
Okay.
practiced on the AWS free tier account, and I got cleared my first exam, that is practitioner
Mm-hmm.
exam. So
Okay.
even if you're a student, AWS or any other cloud has free tier accounts for you. You just need to
Okay.
sign it up and you can start learning for free.
Okay, okay, awesome. This sounds very awesome. Like if you're a student, obviously you're going to get $1,000 of credit, and that is, I think, sufficient for you to learn what is AWS or maybe a cloud. Now, Nasi, I want to understand one thing. Like there are basically two questions. One is how would I prepare for the certification? But before that, I want to understand if I'm a student right now. I'm already doing this 4 year degree job with sorry 4 year degree with me right now. Why should I go for the certification kind of a thing? Can I do it after getting a job or maybe during the job? But why should I do that right now? Why should I not go for the degree which I'm doing right now? What is the advantage I get with the certification?
Even I thought of doing this certification during the job, but
Okay.
I think when I'll be doing my job, there will be less time as compared to the time I have now. Due to
Okay.
this lockdown helped me grab the certification
Okay.
faster. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so it's there's no rush. You don't have to rush to get this
Okay.
certification, because if when you're prepared, do your certification only when you're prepared, because I have seen many folks that the who do the certification before they are prepared and they lose their money. It's
Okay.
the exams are very costly, around $40,000 for a single certification, and if you fail, uh, there will be loss of money and your time. So don't rush
Yeah.
for it. And the second point you mentioned, why should I do it in my degree? Because it's better to have a degree as well as your certification. You are
Okay.
separated along with the among the other folks. There are no other people except me in my college
Okay.
who has the
Okay.
certification. So
Mhm.
so you are recognized. Uh, so you're separated from the crowd. And if there are some recruiters, they will find out that you are someone who has the AWS skills compared to other people. So if you have
Okay.
time, if you have resources, try to get it before your degree. Because if I now have the solutions architect exam, when I'll be in my full-time job, I'll be aiming for professional exam, let's say, or different
Yeah.
certification.
Yeah.
So I'll be on step 3 or step 4, rather than starting from step 1.
Yeah, obviously, yes. That this is a perfect answer, because basically, if you have something extra, and this is going to be basically how you are going to separate yourself from crowd. And yes, one thing I wanted to mention, maybe I forgot. These certifications are not participation certification that you have enrolled in a workshop and you're getting the certification. These are the certification where you have to study for them, then you pay for the certification, and after you clear the certification, there is a criteria that you have to score certain amount of marks, and only after that you get the certification. That is why I would say the value of certification is a lot compared to the participation certification, which a lot of students feel like, okay, this is sufficient. Now, one question I want to understand is, how would I approach towards the learning the certification? Because if I open AWS website, there are so many services. I don't know how to get started with it. So what would be your approach if I'm a beginner right now? How would I get started and start learning the probably a cloud from your perspective?
So like you said, there are many services. AWS has around 200 or 200 plus
Yeah.
services, but you don't have to learn all of them. For cloud
Okay.
practitioner, you just need to get the overview. And if you're someone who's starting to get the practitioner, AWS has each blog on each certification. You can go and run through the exam guide. And if you are someone who wants to appear for solutions architect, I would suggest you to go for cloud practitioner first and then
Okay.
solutions architect, because
Okay.
cloud practitioner will give you the idea how AWS works or how cloud works. So
Okay.
first give practitioner, but if you're someone who is experienced and who is doing AWS for a long time, you can directly go for solutions architect. No need to
Okay.
do for cloud practitioner. So
Okay.
if you
Okay.
want to start, you need to do hands-on, you need to practice. That's the only way to achieve certification. But please don't
Okay.
rush. Don't rush for the certification. Do it only when you are prepared. Because students like me, I know we don't have much money. You need to gather
Okay.
all the money and pay for it. So don't rush and do it only when you are prepared.
Okay, so that is a good advice, that you should be like learning, like doing it when you are ready. And obviously, one thing I wanted to mention, if you feel like I'm a student and I don't have huge amount of money to pay for the learning, AWS has a special learning portal where you can learn all these sort of a certification and the services related things for free of cost. They have the blog, as he has mentioned, and obviously they have the video trainings as well. So obviously, if you're a student right now and if you're feeling like, okay, I don't have this huge amount of money, how I'm going to learn for that? So there is a free resources which are available. Now, moving to the next question, which is obviously quite relatable for students, and it is quite something which a human being has the neck of. Are there any shortcuts for that? Do we have any shortcut for that? Because obviously, if I'll go to Google, I get the opportunity, okay, cloud practitioner dumps, or maybe as you mentioned that someone else is going to take certification from you. So are there any shortcuts for these certifications?
I would not. I would say there's no shortcut. If there is
Okay.
shortcut, it is a scam. So there
Okay.
are no
Okay.
shortcuts. You need to study for it. You need to practice for it, and there are no shortcuts in learning. You need to
Okay.
practice every day. And for shortcuts, I would say you need to, if you are appearing for exam, before a exam, you can go for the practice test. By
Okay.
AWS, you have 10 questions, but that's not
Okay.
sufficient for the exam. There are many free resources or paid as well. So you need
Okay.
first you do the practice sets, and you will get the idea what the question will like in the real exam. So
Okay.
when you do the practice question, it will be easy for you to appear for the real exam. So
Okay.
in short, there are no shortcut. You have to learn and you have to study. So no
Okay.
shortcuts for learning.
Okay. And I would say why there are no shortcuts for this particular certification. You guys may be thinking that, okay, he's a student, he has got the certification. These certifications are the professional level certification. And if he was in the job market right now, he would get a handsome salary because of this certification of solution architect, because that is, again, as per AWS, it is not a very professional certification, but yes, it shows that he has like overall understanding of cloud, AWS, and also how to make sure that infrastructure is up and running, as well as maintaining the security of that infrastructure, which is again the most important point these days. Okay, so that is what you have mentioned. There are no certificates. Now I'll be asking the final question from you for the perspective from the student side. What is the one mistake you would say that you like the person who is watching this video should not make, which you made, and you feel like, okay, if I had not made this mistake, I would have been much far compared to where I'm right?
So the mistake I would say is, when I started for learning, I learned for a few days and then I skipped some days and I was studying something else. So
Okay.
if you're studying for something, aim for it and create a plan. The plan will
Okay.
help you to get the certification faster. So create a plan and go through your plan. Create a timetable for you. Uh, Watch it every day, and
Okay.
don't rush for things. And if you see someone is having this certificate and someone is having this certificate and I want to do this, do not compare yourself with anyone. Try to
Okay.
see yourself and create a plan. And if you have a plan set up with you, you will get things faster, which I should have done earlier. Now
Okay.
I have created a plan and I have all things sorted out, things I have to do for my future. So now I'm going to
Okay.
learn Python for automating, and then I'm going to set for developers, then I'm going to set for Terraform associate. So I have things
Okay.
planned out.
Okay.
If you don't plan, you are stuck up in endless loop, and you get distracted. So if you're studying,
Okay.
get a plan, and you need to do hands-on. If there's one more thing, you need to do hands-on and you need to practice if you want to get a career in cloud. The time you stop doing hands-on, you will forget everything, because like he said, cloud is updating every day. There are many services updated now in AWS. So if you stop hands-on, the many features or many services might change, and you will be confused when you see the console next time. So practice it every day. So yeah, that's it.
No, why I'm smiling that, because like when I started using AWS, and after some time, like there was a pause for 6 months, and when I went back to the console, it was like totally different. Even I was shocked, like how am I supposed to do that? This is something which I'm smiling from my personal experience. Anyways, like that is awesome, Nazi, from your side, like sharing all the details and sharing all the things which you have mentioned. Now, if I'm a student right now, how would, like, if I wish to connect with you, how can I reach you, and how can I get assistance from you, or maybe like some like help related to the examinations? So how can I do that?
So you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I am always active on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So I hope you're going to post the
Yeah, we are going to
link.
post the LinkedIn, your LinkedIn URL.
So you can reach out on me to LinkedIn. He on in the description box. You can ask questions regarding to cloud or DevOps or any certification. I'm always available on LinkedIn. So yeah,
Okay. And yes, I wanted to mention one thing. He also has a YouTube channel with the name of Cloud Champ, I believe. And
yeah,
I
I
will be
started it.
posting yeah, so I'll be posting that link as well. He is sharing the videos related to a lot of things which he's learning. So obviously, if you guys want to like go ahead and start learning from him, obviously you can go ahead and you can subscribe to his YouTube channel. So that is it from our side, guys. Nazi has shared a lot of things which I feel are quite fruitful for everyone. And obviously, if you have questions, please post them in the comment section. We are going to make sure that any question is not answered, is answered. And finally, if you want to connect with him personally, in the link, check the description of this video, you will find all the things related to him and you can connect with him. So thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.